Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to create a basic motion graphics using Adobe After Effects. But first of all, let's take a look at a video in Premiere Pro. So you can see from this very simple video, there's just a video clip and then the credits. Okay, let's play this. Okay, so in this example, there is no motion graphics or effects. We do have a fade in and out here, but that's about it. Okay, so this text credit is made in Premiere Pro itself. So we actually can use After Effects to enhance these credits by introducing motion graphics and visual effects. Okay, let's head over to After Effects and let me show you how to do it. So the first thing, when you load After Effects, you will see the welcome window. So just click on New Project. You can load your previous project over here. Okay, so now I'm just going to click on New Project. Okay, so this is the interface of After Effects. On top, of course, we have the menu. And then over here, we have the project panel. This is where you manage your media assets. Over here, this is the composition window. Later, we'll create a new composition and you'll see the output here. Okay, over here, we have various panels. The most important panel will be the effects and presets panel. Okay, so this is where you find all the visual effects. Okay, at the bottom here, we have the composition. And lastly, over here, we have the timeline. So now I'm going to click on New Composition. And then under the preset, I'm going to choose HD 1920 by 1080 pixels, 25 frames per second, because that's the standard where I live. Okay, if you are from the US or other region that uses 29.97 frames per second, you should choose this. And of course, if you want to 4K, you can choose 4K as well. Okay, so I'm going to stick to HD 25 frames per second. Then the other thing I'm going to change is the duration. I believe the standard is 30 seconds, but I'm going to keep it 10 seconds. And then for background color, I'm just going to keep it as black. Okay, so the rest we can keep it as default. So composition name will be Com1. Okay, and then we click OK. So now we have a composition. You can see there's a Com1 composition, and then this is the composition Com1, and then this is the timeline for Com1. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a white solid layer. So I'm going to go to the layer menu. Okay, I need to click on the timeline first, then layer, new, solid. Okay, so depending on the default color, I'm going to choose white color. Then I'm going to click OK. So now you can see we have a white solid layer. So the white color would be our background. Okay, at this point, I'm going to lock this layer because we don't want to accidentally add this layer. We're just going to keep it as a background. Next, I'm going to add text. So I'm going to come to the tools here, the toolbar, and then I'm going to click on horizontal type tool. Shortcut key is Command T on the Mac. And then now I'm just going to click somewhere here. Okay, so now you can see the text panel, the properties panel. Over here, I'm going to choose Helvetica Neue Condense Bold. Okay, so this is the font I would like. You can choose the font that you prefer. Okay, then font size, I'm going to type in 45 pixels. Then the character spacing, I'm going to put 300. The fill, I'm going to put gray color. Okay, maybe this color. Then I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to type produce by. So you don't have to worry about the position right now. We can simply use the align tool to align this horizontally. So now I'm going to show you. Okay, so over here, this is the align panel, and then you can click on the align horizontally button to align this in the middle horizontally. Then there's another button we can click on this to align vertically. So it will appear here, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. So to exit typing, you just have to press Command Return on the Mac or Control Enter on the Windows. Okay, Command Return, and then click on the text tool again. I'm going to click around here. Now I'm going to make the font size as 90 pixels and 100 for character spacing, and the fill color I want it to be black. So then I'm going to type my name. Okay, so now to align this horizontally, I just click on this button over here. One problem that you may face is that if we were to select both layers, then we were to click on align vertically, okay, then you see that they are all centered vertically. Okay, so this is not what we want. Okay, so I'm going to undo this. Then I'm going to turn on the proportional grid. Okay, so by using the proportional grid, we can now center our text. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to drag and hold the shift button so that it doesn't go to the left or right. Okay, so I'm going to place it around here. Okay, and then click on produce by, same thing. I'm going to drag it down but hold down the shift button while I do it. So you can see now this is center vertically. Then the next thing, I can now turn off the proportional grid. So next, I'm going to select both layers in the timeline, and then I'm going to trim this to 5 seconds. So I only want them to show for the first 5 seconds. For the name, I'm going to trim the beginning to 1 second. Okay, so this is what I want. I want the first second to show produced by. Then after that, show my name after 1 second. And then after that, we're going to show the logo. So at this point of time, I want to explain. So this is the timeline indicator. Okay, so by dragging the timeline indicator with your mouse, then you can jump to the frame that you want to preview. Then to play back, you can use the space bar. Okay, space bar is a shortcut key. You can play back. And at this point of time, I want to explain to you what is this green color bar here. So this is called the render bar. When it's green color means After Effects can play back your composition smoothly. Okay, there is a ramp preview. If we do not see any color here, means that After Effects has yet to render that portion. Okay, then you may not be able to watch it in real time. Okay, now I'm going to import the logo. So to import the logo, there's many ways to do it. I can either right click, import file, or I can go to file and then import over here. So I'm just going to import. I'm going to go to graphics, and then I'm going to import this logo. So let me double click on the icon here, and now we can preview. This is the school logo. Going back to the composition, now I'm going to add this logo to the timeline. So I'm going to drag the icon, and then I'm going to position it in the beginning over here. So now the logo is added as a new layer. And then I'm going to trim the logo to start from 6 seconds. This is what we want. At this point, I want to show you something. You should always check the action and title save area. So I'm going to turn it on over here. This is over here. Title and action save. Okay, so your text and logo must always be within the action and title save margin. So what happens is that televisions will crop your videos up to around 10%. Okay, so the outer box here, this outer box is the action save margin. Okay, so anything that's outside the action save margin, this up to 10%, may not be shown when you're watching on television. Okay, then there's another inner box here. So this is the title save margin. As a general rule of thumb, your text or logos must be within the title save. So we are safe. Okay, so both our text and our logo is within the title save. Okay, I'm going to turn this off since I've checked. Okay, let's watch this. Okay, so this is the motion graphics that we want, produced by, then after that, Teng, and then lastly, the logo. Now I'm going to select the produced by layer. Then I'm going to position the timeline indicator in the beginning. And then I'm going to go to the Close the properties panel. Okay, I'm going to focus on effects and preset panel. So now I'm going to add the animation to the text. So it's all concentrated here, animation preset. So I'm going to twirl this now to expand it. Then since we are animating the text, so it's actually under here. Okay, but as there's so many effects in After Effects, so you must be wondering, how each effects look like. So this is what you can do. I'm going to show you a tip. Okay, you can go to the contextual menu, and then you can browse preset. And After Effects will use Adobe Bridge. So you make sure you install Bridge if you want to use this. Okay, this is optional. So Adobe Bridge is a digital assets management app. It's part of the Adobe Cloud. So now I'm going to go to text, and then I'm going to blur. So I'm going to use bullet train. I already selected this beforehand. Now to preview it, you can just click on the play here. Okay, so you can see, and you will keep looping and to show you how the effects look like. Just to show you another one, maybe this one, blur and fade. Okay, so this is blur and fade, and this is blur bleach. Okay, but I'm going to stick to bullet train. To use these effects, make sure your timeline indicator is where you want the effects to begin. So I've positioned the timeline indicator in the beginning of Produce By layer. And I'm going to Bridge, and then I can right click on bullet train effects and then select place in Adobe After Effects. So I can play this now. I can see that bullet train has been applied. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to position the timeline indicator in the beginning of the name layer. Now to do that, right, what you can do is you can use the shift button. While holding the shift button, you drag the timeline indicator, it will snap to the beginning or the end of the clip. So now I'm going to select the name layer. I've already positioned the timeline indicator, and I can either go to Bridge to do the same thing to place the effects, or I can simply come over here. So it's blur, and then bullet train. I can either drag this effect and place it here, or double click on the icon. So now I have the bullet train effects for both Produce By and the name. Okay, let's watch this again. And yes, this is what we want. Another thing that I want to show you is how to use the effects control panel. But before that, we're going to place another effects. We're going to do the fade in and out. Let's say I don't know where to find it. Okay, so I'm just going to type it here, fade in, and then you can say fade in and out. Okay, so we're going to choose this. Then I'm just going to apply this to the Produce By. Double click here. Okay, so it has applied 15 frames to the beginning and 15 frames to the back. Okay, let's watch this. Okay, so this is fade in, 15 seconds, can't really see that. Okay, but then you can see the fade out. Just to play safe, I'm just going to make this 0. I don't need the fade in because I already have the bullet train, and then I fade out for 15 frames. So now let me show you a way of copying and pasting the effects. So I'm going to select the fade in and out effects, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to select the name layer, and I'm going to paste it by selecting Command V on the Mac. For Windows is Control V. Okay, so then now you can see that it also fades out as well. So we are good. So now we're going to position the timeline indicator at the beginning of the logo, and make sure you select the logo layer, and then we're going to Adobe Bridge. So we're going to presets and then transitions movement. I already pre-select this cut white 3D pixel storm, so I know I'm going to use this. This is how the effects look like. Okay, so then I'm going to right click here and then place in Adobe After Effects. Remember, we have positioned the timeline indicator in the beginning of this layer, and then make sure it's selected for this to work. So I right click, place in Adobe After Effects. And then you can see the 3D pixel storm is now in effect. Okay, we have two issues here. First is that the effects takes too long to animate in, so this is almost 2 seconds. I want it to be faster. Okay, let's play this with the spacebar. Okay, you see that it takes a bit too long to animate in. So I want it to just take 1 second to animate in. So what you can do is you expand this layer, okay, by touring down, okay, until you see the keyframe. At this point, you still cannot edit the keyframe, so you have to tour down some more. And then when you see the diamond shape keyframe, this is when you can edit the keyframe. Okay, so I'm going to this is the beginning keyframe. So you can see the animation start at 0%, and then this is the end keyframe. You can see it's almost 100%. Okay, so I'm going to drag this keyframe, the end keyframe, to 7 seconds. Okay, so now the animation will only animate in for 1 second. The next problem is that you can see there's this gray background. This is something to do with the lighting properties. So while this layer is selected, I'm going to the effects control. I'm going to tour down lighting, and then the lighting depth, I'm going to change to 5. Okay, so you can see there's no longer any gray background. This is due to the light depth. Then at this point, I also want to just show you a shortcut key. You can actually toggle the U shortcut key to review the keyframe. You see, I'm pressing the U to just toggle and review the keyframes quickly so that you can manipulate the keyframes quickly. Okay, now I'm going to hide it. So let's watch the whole animation again. Okay, so we are good. Don't forget to save your project. So to save the project, you can either go to File, Save, or just Command S. But because we're saving this for the first time, I'm going to save as, and then I'm going to save it under my under this project folder, and then I'm going to call it Credits. Okay, then click Save. There are two ways to import your composition into Premiere Pro. The first way is to either import the After Effects project directly into Premiere Pro, or you can render to a video file from After Effects. So now I'm going to show you how to render directly from After Effects. So you go to Composition and then add to Render Queue. So under the Render Queue panel, you should stick to the default setting, which is Best Settings. Let me just click on this to show you what the render settings for best quality. Okay, so it should be best, and then the resolution is full. Okay, then we're going to use H.264. Okay, everything default, just click OK. Now before you can output, you must specify the destination. So I'm going to click over here, and then I'm going to output to the motion graphics folder. I'm going to call it Credits, and then save. Okay, and then now the render button is available, and then you can click on render. The rendering speed depends on your computer processing power, so it also depends on how complicated your composition is. So it has been rendered already. Okay, just to show you, under motion graphics, I have a credits.mp4, so that's the video file. Now I'm going to go to Premiere Pro. I'm going to show you the two ways of importing the composition. I'm going to show you the direct import method first. So I already have a sequence here. Okay, so there's no credits here. So now I'm going to click and select on motion graphics. Then either I can import here, right click here, import here, or I can go to File, Import. Okay, then I'm going to choose the credits.aep project. This is the After Effects project, okay, credits.aep. I'm going to click import. So while this is highlighted, is selected, when we import COM1 will go under this bin. So I just select COM1, I'm going to import COM1, and then click OK. So now I can import this. I can drag this over here. Okay, so at this point you can see there's the red render bar. So this composition needs to be rendered first before we can watch in real time. So to render this, we just go to sequence and then you can see render effects into out, or the shortcut key is simply the return or enter key. Okay, so let's render it. And once it turns green, we know that we can preview this in real time. Okay, so let's watch this. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to position the timeline indicator at the beginning of the logo, and then I'm going to add in sound effects. We always want to animate the animation with the sound effects. Okay, let me place this here, and then let's watch this. Perfect. Next, I'm going to show you how to import the MP4 video. Okay, so again, I already have the sequence prepared here, and then I already imported the credits.mp4 video here. So I'm going to place it here just to show you. Okay, so this is simply just a video file. Okay, let's watch the whole thing again. Okay, very good. Thanks for watching. Hope you have found this useful.